Mr. City Manager. Mr. City Manager Batista, pay us $279,000 and we will release Mo Bergman and Kate Toomey from the stream. They are trapped in the stream. They will never get out. You will never find them. Give us $279,000 payable by cash or Doge bucks or Dairy Queen gift certificates. Send it to Travis's house. Okay, bye.
Okay, wow, that was weird. I don't know where that came from, but welcome back to Worcester City Council Theater 3000, everybody. It's wow, what a Tuesday, huh?
Incredible.
Some kind of Tuesday.
What a night. We got all sorts of things on the agenda, like a new constable being appointed. And essentially, well, I mean, there's a Peter Dunn appearance. We got a Peter Dunn appearance.
That's exciting.
Yeah. I guess they didn't have drum practice tonight down at Pop Punk Town. Anyway, yeah, this is the crew tonight, guys. There he is.
Sorry, I was working on another photo.
Coming up from Ocean Avenue. No Bill tonight. Bill is on rock and roll tour. He's opening for
There he
Yellow
is.
Card.
That's the photo I was working on.
Look, motherfucker. Look
He
at this
never
guy.
wears a suit for our stream.
He don't care. We're not paying him nearly as much as
But it's about
the
dressing
music
for the
industry
job you
is.
want.
That's
That's
true.
also
That's why that's why I dress like this.
Smart.
Because I don't want a job.
Doubly smart.
Hell yeah. Brendan, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's great to see you both. Travis, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm living life and loving it. I
Great.
assume you
How
were
is
feeling it too.
Yeah, how was start at the station?
Oh, started the station went really, really well. Saw a bunch of cool people. I think we touched on that last time. What I want to touch on is we talked a little bit before we started is Brendan's sweet ass hat.
It's a great hat.
I had to put this on primarily because you claim to have met my twin at start of the station, and now I need to differentiate myself from this doppelganger who's running around Worcester all willy-nilly.
I should have taken a photo of him. I genuinely should have.
You should have, and gotten his address so we could take care of this the right way.
Yeah, you need to destroy him so that you get his power. Yeah.
I mean, we did bring up Terminator before. Maybe this was like
oh wow.
What was the one that
the B1000?
Yeah. The handsome one.
Hey, we got a like on Facebook. Thank you to whoever did that.
Whoa. Who was that? Let's see. Oh, it was Marcus. That's fine, Marcus. That's fine. Thank you. You're allowed to like us on Facebook. I will allow it. No, thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. I can see the Facebook likes from StreamYard is a new thing that I learned.
Oh, that's interesting.
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it's I don't know, what's going on in the city, guys? What's happening?
Well, we're down $280,000, but we got an Eric.
We did.
We don't.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't have any answers as to whether or not Eric believes that Mr. Snuffleupagus is real. That's still lingering out there.
Very true. Which I have seen him. Nobody's been around when I saw. Well, no one's been around when I've seen Eric.
Okay.
So it's really hard because I keep saying that he's real. Like he's not real, and but I keep seeing him everywhere, and then he's just gone when people need him or need services from the city. Except for listening sessions. All the listening sessions have been.
Did he go glasses or no glasses at listening sessions?
Oh, as soon as he signed that contract, glasses gone, baby. Gone. Yeah. He signed them with his LASIK eyes.
Did you guys hear anything about Blessed Sacrament in the shelter that is going to be going down there?
Yeah, a little bit. Just from Tracy was tweeting about it.
It was apparently a zoo the other night from West Side people who are really happy that some homeless folk might be inching too close to their neighborhood.
Yeah, what a cool place, America, Worcester specifically. Yeah, the church wants to set up a temporary shelter for folks over the winter, with the express purpose of finding them permanent housing, getting them they can get permanent housing, which you can't do without an address. You can't do without a job. You can't get a job without an address. You can't do the whole thing in this country is designed to keep the people that are down and keep people that are up from ever having to look at those people. So that's kind of what that meeting seemed to have been dancing around. Now it's interesting because how much power do the people that are against it have to stop it? Is what I was trying to suss out from.
None, really.
That's what I hoped and thought.
Yeah, I mean, other than being loud, and loud people, my takeaway from what I could dig up online from the meeting, I didn't attend, was that the majority of people who were very loud and outspoken in opposition to Blessed Sacrament being used as a temporary shelter, they are the people that historically are always bullies in Worcester, and for no obvious reason, like nobody has shut them down.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that we will get some traction. I doubt it though.
Yeah, I mean, that's hopefully that's what it comes down to, is that enough people are loud in support of that. So I'm trying to pull up Travis. If you look at Tracy Novik's Twitter account, it's pinned the thread. If you want to share it, we can throw it up there if people want to check it out. Yeah, it was, it's a bummer. People complain all the time about, there being problems in the city, and then what they're really complaining is that they have to see them, because every solution, there are plenty of solutions. There are honestly plenty of solutions that we can enact. We can help people. But every time that happens, it's, a classic, not in my backyard situation. So, this is our backyard. Everyone's backyard is here. So you got a church that's willing to step in there and help and do their part. And I think that should be, supported and applauded. So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there is,
it's hard to be. Yeah. Go ahead.
There is one obvious solution that I feel like it gets overlooked every Tuesday night when we're doing the show, which is demand the city council resign.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm pilfering that from my friend Mike Benedetti, who mentioned that today, that really we could solve all of these problems collectively at once just by demanding that the city council resign.
City council, we demand you resign. If you resign, we will release Kitumi from her trance-like state and watching the stream. And if you don't resign, we will hold her entrapped here for the rest of time until and never she'll make an Etsy design again.
So, yeah, I mean, we should do everything in our power to destroy everybody on the city council that is bad.
Tracy tweets a lot.
It should be pinned. I believe it's the pinned tweet.
Is it?
Yeah. Tracy, slow down on the tweets.
This is about hearing for a charter school.
Oh, okay. Is that that was the other one where people were being horrible. We'll find it eventually. We had plenty of discussions about that last week. It's bad. It's a for-profit business that is designed to extract money from us to those old-timey goose killer fucks down in Sturbridge, that backwards town. So they're mad that we took BTs and they're trying to take our money from us, and destroy our public schools in the process. It's cool. What I was going to say to Swaro Sally is, yes, it's very hard to be unhoused when you inherit your house from your family and have never had to pay rent or a mortgage in your life. So, Ben, there's not a ton. So we're going to see what.
Brendan, did you get your mushrooms? Brendan was going to take mushrooms and try to explain what this meant.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I was hoping we could get Bill on.
Oh shit, that was Bill. That's right.
Yeah, I wanted.
My bad.
I was suggesting Bill do that. That he come in suited. No mushrooms for me. I already have the FBI on the way to the house because
suited
Bryan is
and
making
zooted.
Vague threats to elected officials.
Brendan Melican, give us your mushrooms. You'll never find Will Bergman again.
But that good Lord, that school committee breakdown. That's going to take at least 6 hours for the city council to get through tonight. There's.
Well, it's good they graded all the school districts. Precinct 4 has gotten an F. That's too bad.
Fucking idiots.
I don't even know how I'm supposed to be reading. I mean, it's really not that complicated, but I have no idea how I'm supposed to be reading.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to take Excel away from Nico. Nico can have all the other toys. Excel is no longer allowed.
Not allowed. Yeah.
It's just coded. It's coded for his knowing only.
Nico secrets.
Nico secrets.
Secrets.
Shh, keep your secrets, Nico.
Nico.
It's like they haven't started quite yet.
These bastards.
Oh.
Yeah. I have inscrutable. No idea what it means. Can you throw it back up there for a second? I want to see if I can glean anything from it. Oh no. Yeah,
Oh, my bad.
I mean, yeah, leave that up, but okay. Why is there only 2 council districts? Is this just one page of the many? Is that what we're looking at?
I don't know. This was just whatever was in Mike's.
Yeah, no, that was they threw like sample ballots and a breakdown using District 1 of what these school committee districts are going to look like for voters.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but I don't really even know what this means.
It's gonna be good times. So yeah. Oh, good.
Somebody is just throwing up angry faces.
Yeah, what's going on over there?
They hate America, and I'm in support of it.
Of course, that person's friend is
Jack, where have you gone? Where did you go, Jack?
I'll be honest. I'm kind of glad Jack wasn't there for the ranch shot last week.
Oh yeah.
I rewatched that and then made sure that I ate healthy for the rest of that week and the rest of this week. Because I felt like Hidden Valley wretch that night.
What's Kate doing on the wrong side over there?
She's trying to get Candy to protect her.
There are people out to get you, Kate.
Oh. Yeah, that's I mean whatever. It's disgusting. We all know. Well, they're because they're all paranoid and scared that they'll be the ones that lose their seat. They don't know they're gonna lose it anyways.
Councilor Bergman.
Here.
Councilor Calorio.
Here.
Councilor
Okay,
Gia.
sit down.
Councilor King.
Here.
Councilor Merrill Carlson.
Here.
Councilor Nguyen.
Here.
Councilor Rivera.
Here.
Councilor Rose.
Yeah, here.
Councilor Russell.
Oh,
Here. Councilor Toomey.
Sean's there tonight
Here.
taking his victory lap.
Dude's got senioritis.
Next, we're going to have the approval of the minutes. Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Did
That was
y'all
that-
see
that
the,
was-
We have
Oh,
next,
the,
public
Tercentennial book
participation. The person
that,
may speak for no more than 2 minutes.
is now for
Item
sale?
appearing on the agenda.
No.
$24.99. I'll make a great
See
gift for
nobody?
friends and family. But
Anybody online?
Where
That's
they sell
actually
that?
reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
but it's only up through 2022, and it's already been published. I feel this is our opportunity to do something fucking huge
Petitions.
in the last couple
7A,
weeks of
we're
the
gonna
year.
go to Public Works Committee.
Yeah.
That book will be a
Those in
total
favor,
fraud.
opposed, so ordered. 7B through 7G.
Give us one free book and we
Traffic
will
and parking.
do
Those in favor,
something
opposed, so ordered.
not specific to
7A,
City
public
Hall.
Hearing for Chi Communications for a pole location on Houghton Street. Those in
Pretty
favor,
psyched about this new
opposed,
board. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm-
who that was.
Equally pumped.
Anybody here for an appointment? Or- no.
Some hacker keeps
Okay.
breaking into the stream.
These are
pretty bad.
informational, Non-city council confirmation.
It's weird that we only have
These are
Bill on
information
phone and that he sounds like a
communication relative to the
robot.
appointment
Yeah,
of-
Bill, come on, man. Don't say actionable things. Oh, we lost Travis. We lost the stream. Oh God. Oh no. Oh God. Oh, they got him back. They came back at him. Oh,
That was weird.
thank God. We're so worried. We thought they
What
got you.
I don't know.
All right.
All of a sudden, just
Transmitting
kicked me out.
information communication of the
The
reappointment.
Hi,
hackers are
everybody.
able to do anything at any time. We could never
Commission.
possibly know what they'll do.
Communication relative to the appointment of Brian Darty to the Parks Commission. So I thank you for your service. Thanks for the advisory
Parks
committee for appointing, recommend these people, and we will motions to place on file. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered. We have appointment of city council confirmation. Recommend the reappointments of Sergio Bacelis and Jeffrey Levering to the
Jeffrey
Cable
Dahmer.
Television Advisory Committee. Roll call.
Councilor Bergman.
Yes.
Councilor Calorio.
Yes.
Councilor Gia.
Yes.
Councilor King.
Yes.
Councilor Merrill Carlson.
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
Yes.
Councilor Rose.
Yes.
Councilor Russell.
Yes.
Councilor Toomey.
Yes.
And Mayor Petty.
Yes.
Christian's passing notes to Eric.
8.3A and 8.3B B is a vote to advertise. We can take those collectively.
Well, we can make
Salary
that happen.
ordinances, Roll call.
Councilor Bergman?
Yes.
Councilor Caloria?
Yeah,
Yes.
I've done it with
Councilor
IPL oranges.
King?
You know
Councilor
that though.
Carlson?
Yes.
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
Yes.
Councilor Rose?
You know who
Councilor
Mo
Russell?
Bergman is,
Yes.
don't you,
Councilor
Brian?
Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor
I sure do.
Yes.
Will I ever tell? Absolutely fucking
And I
not.
know you won't. It just blows my.
8.35A.
They said they were going to introduce themselves at one of the markets.
Want to keep that out?
Maybe they did.
Okay, keep
Maybe
8.58
they
out.
They
did.
probably did.
8.36A and B.
I saw somebody at Start that I
8.37A
haven't
and
seen
B,
in like 4 years, and I completely forgot any instance of them in my life. And I had to apologize and tell them how much weed I
Councilor
smoke.
Caloria?
Yes.
Councilor Ajay?
Yes.
Councilor King?
Yes.
Wow.
Which, by the way,
Councilor Nguyen?
Yes.
Councilor Rivera?
I actually have to write my
Councilor
column
Rose?
on weed.
Councilor Russell? Councilor Toomey?
Yes.
And Mayor
So we just
What
got
are you gonna,
banned from Twitch.
What are you gonna order for food tonight?
Oh, I
Yeah,
already got food. I got drunken noodle
Oh, good.
loaded
Do
with
they have,
vegetables, and
they have ranch dressing for you to chug?
I keep that in the fridge. Thank you.
Doing all we can on behalf of our public schools, and I noticed this particular item transferring from one school account to another. I'm just curious with regards to net school spending. You know, have there been any changes in
Did we skip
how
over
much we
public
have been giving
participation?
towards
Or
the
are we
public
just straight
schools
in?
and the transfer from one school? I think it's from one school.
That's a great question.
Line item to another.
Did they
school line item.
did they skip
Thank-
public participation?
Just curious with regards to net schools spending.
Or is no? Or is this appointments before they do?
Oh, this was appointments.
This is part of
added
appointments.
any additional dollars above and beyond that, Mr. Chairman, through the chair.
Mr. McGurthy? This says, I don't
There are a
think-
couple
Or maybe-
areas in Worcester that have FiOS.
That's-
I haven't heard anything about a big
that's-
rollout.
There's a
sorry.
bigger
I know-
rollout coming. They
There is.
announced, yeah,
That's
this
correct.
weekend.
Capital is not
But
part
that's
of
a
the
great
national,
question, Brian.
spending equation.
Also,
So these are
congratulations,
part of the
Brian,
$4
on
million
your,
that the city allocates to the public
recent
schools each year.
Nuptials
500,000 of
/ the
which
party
goes towards
commemorating
125
it.
towards capital buildings and repairs.
I
And
saw
so this is them moving
a bunch of
money
people from the wedding
capital
after our
to
show on Saturday, and
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
they were properly sauced up. So sounds like it was a good time.
8.35.
How was the show Saturday night?
It's fantastic. We had Grim on.
Yeah, Grim said he had a
Rules.
blast.
He's so fun. He showed up and he was like, "Is it okay to be high on this show?" And we're like, "Absolutely." And Doug was like, "I currently am." And then we're like, "It's not possible to get too high for this show." There's no. And he said, "Okay, I'll try." And he gave it a good effort. I'll tell you that.
City plow was unable to go into school property because the school had their own plow operators. And I know it's difficult.
To answer your question, Brendan, my article is going to be about how awesome Major Bloom's delivery is,
Oh, no kidding.
because they did. You don't have to have a medical card to get delivery from Major Bloom. You can just order, and they'll bring it right to you.
Fantastic.
I
That
don't know
rules.
if that's something the new city manager would wish to look at. but
Is this going to be like the opposite of the old like Freshway Pizza, where you order a pizza and ask them to go pick you up a blunt? Now you'll order a blunt and ask them to go grab you a pizza.
I'm telling you, it is a service that needs responsible drivers that get to where in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mo, I didn't pay a delivery fee because I was over $100,
Councilor Bergman?
which is typical for me. That's, I mean, that's not a normal.
Regular Tuesday for.
That's a bi-weekly cost. It's an expensive habit. I'll give you that.
Councilor Rose?
Yes.
But
Councilor Russell?
but yeah,
Councilor Toomey?
I don't think there was
Mayor
a
Petty.
fee.
Yes,
Travis, when they do delivery, is it like
8,
any sort of special vehicle or just like person in a car?
So when I've gotten it before from Resonate, it was like a white van, and there was 2 of them, and it was a big fucking deal. This time, it was just some dude in a car. He could have been delivering pizzas. He could have been a DoorDash driver.
Huh.
It was very chill.
I'd love to be doing that on my motorcycle. I think that'd be a really fun side hustle. Just like
Oh my God. It'd be so enjoyable just to cruise around.
bringing weed to people, knowing they're going to have a good night.
Legally.
So they absolutely did not do public participation. Is there no one?
It's probably what Eric's telling them now.
Secrets? Yeah.
10.35 10A through 10E.
Mr. Manager, tell us what you said to the mayor,
Ordained on a
or
roll
we'll
call.
keep your $279,000.
Council Bergman,
Yes.
Council Calorio,
Yes.
Council Gia,
I mean, I guess
Council King,
technically there could have been nobody on the line and nobody in the
Council
gallery,
Leon?
but
Yes.
Yeah.
Council Rivera, Council Rose,
Yes.
Council Russell,
Yes.
Council Toomey,
Yes.
and Mayor Petty.
Yes.
no
Table 11.
glasses, Sally.
So it brings us, I think it could have been maybe the quickest meeting we've had, but.
Wow.
Council.
They're not
Under
done.
suspension, Council Russell.
Mr. Chairman, while we have a minute, I just want to take
that
a
really
moment to thank the legislative delegation and the lieutenant governor and the governor for signing the
No.
petition that we proposed, that this council proposed about financing of private street conversions for elderly residents. So now the Public Works Committee and this council as a whole will have an extra option on financing that when streets are to be converted and an elderly person who owns or occupies a home on a street will have the option of leaving that
Thanks, Main South
home
Mom.
as an attachment to their property, but it'll be, paid off if and when they decide to sell the house. And of course,
Take it out of the school budget, Mo.
dramatically more because it'll be on a nice new.
Take it
public
out of your
street.
gas
So
budget.
I want to thank the administration, thank our colleagues in government and the State House for their support and for getting this through.
I'm flabbergasted.
Under the wire, so to speak, at the end of December. So thank you very much.
December.
Thank you, Council Russell and the administration for doing that. Council Bergman under suspension.
I did this, Mr. Chairman, but thank you for giving me the opportunity. I think since Commissioner Fink has been on board, we've done an excellent job with snow removal. I can certainly, and snow events, I can certainly say.
No, we fucking haven't. Are you out of your goddamn mind?
You know, I can't.
They don't call you because it's not worth calling. There's no such thing as a city plow anymore.
Over this weekend.
It's an insane. The roads were fucking terrible. They didn't pre-treat the roads.
Report on.
I didn't go out at all.
Was it because it was the first storm? Is this the average number of accidents we have? Do we have enough equipment? So on and so forth.
I drove around for like 2 hours like an asshole because Iris and I had convinced ourselves that at 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday, somebody must be selling Christmas trees. The answer is no, nobody is selling Christmas trees, but there are people driving 10 miles an hour in an old Tercel with their hazard lights on, faking traffic even worse than it was.
Just snag one from one of the stands.
I want to start cutting them down in the median strip of 395. That's been my plan for years, and I just never get. I'm too lazy.
It's just dragging it out. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
I don't believe you. So motions to adjourn. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
What the hell?
Holy fuck, we're
Okie
done.
dokie. Okay, less than 26 minutes they went. No, not even 16 minutes they went.
That's really weird.
Yeah, I saw that, Mo. That's insane.
It wasn't that much snow. Was it because it was icy?
Yeah, and they didn't do anything to the roads beforehand. They didn't do anything. That has to be right. We should look that up for next time. We should try and find out. If anybody can find that out, if anybody keeps stats, I guarantee you that's a record. Guaranteed. Unless there was one that they just like for a full, like regularly scheduled meeting. There you go, Krypton. Yeah. Insanity. They're probably so scared. They heard about the threats that were coming in.
That's exactly what it was. Now we do have the FBI coming to our houses.
We have trucks in leaf sucking mode.
Yes. They hadn't turned them over to snow treating mode. They were still in leaf pickup mode.
I'm in leaf sucking mode too.
Dude, we
I love
better Transformers.
Every year in the fall when all the people come up from New York and New Jersey to leaf suck. I think that's like
fucking leaf suckers. Get out the way.
That's fascinating.
So
Hey man, climate change doesn't number. And the other thing is too, here's the thing, does it even make sense for the city to like have all this equipment because climate change is so fucked? It doesn't make sense for, a group of savvy people to take, some seed money. I'd say, I don't know what, it's around $280,000 and buy equipment to rent out to the city when they get desperate, Just something to think about. I don't know. Whoever would want to do that. I can't think of anybody. I certainly don't have that kind of money yet. Who knows if I'll ever get it.
So looking at the schedule, it looks like we have one more of these before the end of the year. Just next week.
Better be a good one.
Yeah. There's another listening session tomorrow, correct?
Where's that?
That is at Belmont Zion Church, the AME Zion, on Illinois Street.
Has anyone gone to one of these?
No, there was one. The last one was Wednesday last week, I think. Also, right? I don't know if anybody went.
Yeah, they're doing it at like the busiest time of year.
Sally, you went. How was it? Was it enlightening? Yeah, I mean they know what they're like. From what I heard, the first one was just a congratulatory session to Eric. So
that's the one that went back to college, right?
Mm-hmm.
D3, Mighty Ducks 3.
Yeah, that's what they went to a boarding school and then had to face off against the varsity team. Seems like a little bit of a downshift from the World Cup for kids.
Yeah, the kids Olympics.
Yeah, exactly. And like if your job is the bottom line, if your job is to as a bean counter, then I can certainly understand the logic in that. You want to keep your job. You suggest to it's all just a joke like that, then yeah, of course. But that doesn't help. That doesn't provide services for us. And that's the problem, is that it's all, accounting. It's not about services. So,
And did
Yenni's
did
here.
anyone ask
Hi, Yenni.
Hi.
Yenni, I
didn't realize
really
time was.
I'm so sorry. You actually missed the meeting.
Entirely?
Entirely.
Entire
Yes.
meeting.
You're not that late. They did 4 things and fucked off.
Yeah, I saw that the agenda was really short, but
Yeah, and they sped through it. And there was also no one in the gallery and no one online for public participation. So 0
I mean,
calls.
that makes sense. There was like nothing of substance to the agenda.
Ben White, what was said about DEI? Like, do they have a plan to replace that position? So like I've heard that they're moving some positions around within City Hall, like that arts and culture is no longer a city manager cabinet position, and that it's now part of economic development.
Oof. That's good. That's tough.
So I'm curious what they're like, how they're replacing people, because there's a lot of acting positions.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I know there's a shuffle happening with a bunch of folks moving over to the transportation and mobility department.
Interesting.
But other than that, I hadn't heard of any.
That business or whatever, that think tank that you sent the website for, somebody sent it. I don't know. I was reading reports the other night, very stoned, and just flipped.
Research Bureau?
Yeah, I want to follow up on that. What was that? What was the report that was?
Oh,
dropped?
the juicy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the Research Bureau report?
Yeah.
Well, that was fantastic.
What did they say in it? We should take some time to go through it.
I mean, if you have it, Travis, you can put it up.
I'll bring it up right now.
Presentation. It's the nice part about it. They went back to some really old maps that had been well researched through academia that allow you to see the way the redlining process actually came about in Worcester.
Wow.
And but they incorporated the language that was used at the time, like the the way like the Salisbury Street neighborhood was considered to be like the most desirable part of the city, and like the Tatnick area was the second most desirable part of the city, because, and we still are. It's fantastic over here, but the they used very barely coded language to describe the process of zoning for single family zoning, and knowing exactly how that was going to impact voting at the time. Really interesting stuff.
Wow. That should be great for Bill's piece that his long term project he's working on. That's probably going to have a lot of research for that, which is great.
And it's an interactive report and set of maps as well too. It was actually really well presented, so you kind of looked like something the New York Times would have done, where it's just a lot of really nice interactive overlays, so you could see over time the way those zones changed or didn't.
Wow.
And the way that when you currently ask yourself why the council or whatever looks like it does, that map is the answer.
The other thing that I noted that I actually haven't had a chance to like do a deep dive on it, but I don't know if Matthew's in the chat know the Matt.
I haven't seen him tonight.
He pointed out that there was one quote in it about how much rent had increased. And since I think it was 2015, it might have been 19. I'm not remembering exactly on that, on what his tweet said the quote was, but that it had gone up by $1,000 in that time. So a unit would a 2-bedroom would be and this was a 2-bedroom statistic, went from 800 to 1,800. I'm pretty sure it was since 2015. But
this is kind of related, and I promise I'm not pitching this here, but if there's something I can do to be helpful on this front, I was going through the MLS today, and I noticed that there's almost 85 rentals available listed in the MLS right now, which is really unusual that's the listing service that realtors use mostly for houses, but you can also put in rental units there as well. Rarely do you see that many rental units available in the MLS. The only thing I can make sense of is you've got people who recently bought properties, who cleared them out and are asking their real estate agents to help fill them for them.
Right.
But historically, Worcester's not. Boston is barely a market where you use an agent to find a rental. That's more of like an LA, New York City sort of thing, where you broker apartments and whatnot. And the price points they're high by the standards you're referring to, Yenni, but they're not high by market standards as they sit today. So if anyone is out there looking and wants to see a pool of rentals that you might not be able to easily find on your own, because that part of the MLS, you're not going to typically see it on Zillow or what have you.
Yeah.
It's usually only happy to help anyone on that front. But 3 bedrooms that tends to be hovering around 1,800 from what I saw today. 1,800 is the number that the Worcester Housing Authority is paying as well too for a subsidy. So it does kind of match up, it seems, with what the city as a whole or the region as a whole is looking at. Yeah, I don't have any good news on that front, other than if anyone's out there that actually needs a hand in terms of finding something, feel free to get in touch.
There's also the fact that Worcester, from what I've been able to tell, a lot of areas, the person who's searching will have to pay the realtor. In Worcester, it is the landlord who pays the realtor. So
Right.
if you are having difficulty finding something, especially like if you have dogs or something like that, it can be helpful to contact a realtor who does rentals.
Right.
The person that I use to list my units when they do, on the rare occasion, become available, because we have tenants that stick around a while, we use Castanetti Realty, and she does amazing things with animal welfare groups and stuff like that. And so a lot of the landlords like me who accept all dog breeds actually go through her to list their units. Just a quick tip for some folks.
Interesting. Yeah.
I noticed someone, Mo just made a comment about brokerage fees. While I was scrolling through, I did know that don't notice that a fair number of brokerages handling those listings do tack on fees that are primarily for credit reports and whatnot. Like, so anything that needs to be run by the listing brokerage, they would expect the renters to be picking up, but that isn't necessarily different than if it was rented by a landlord themselves. They would probably expect you to be paying for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, my going through all of the various criteria that I send a tenant through costs about. Can you hear the folks in the background? Because I can tell them to be quieter.
It's fine. We can hear 'em a little bit. It's not a problem.
They're just
tell them
yelling
to
at
shut the
me.
hell up.
It's not a war. But the amount that I spend on like doing all of the background checks and everything on folks tends to be about $58 per applicant. So it does rack up, but in the state of Massachusetts, landlords are not allowed legally to charge you any of that. That is something that is ignored by most landlords and charged to people anyway, along with application fees. But it is not legal for them to do so.
Good to know. I'm looking at the just the rundown for the council. Let's see if anything slipped by that was of substance.
I have that map here.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at that.
Folks in the chat seem to not be having known that. The other aspect of that is we can only charge first, last, security, and a reasonable key fee, which has been estimated to be about $50 maximum.
Yeah, it's very tough with animals. But it's nice to own a home. So I'm glad you did, bud.
And then when you buy a home, you have to deal with the fact that none of the insurance companies in the state, aside from the state insurance company, will allow you to have any dog breed.
It's true. It's very true.
MPIUA is the only one that allows any breed. There is a bill in the State House and has been there for multiple years now to try and fix that, but I have not been able to get any traction on it so far. In terms of getting more reps to sign on to it. So if you want to poke your rep, please do.
Mr. or Mrs. Rep, let the dogs in my house.
We can do that. We can always try. These hackers keep getting in.
Yeah,
it's very helpful to. Yeah, I suggest anybody get a Jessica. That's number one best way to get a house. I mean, I can't imagine how you could possibly. I don't think you could be significantly over 100,000 and not afford a house. Realistically, afford a house in Worcester. It's crazy.
I don't think you can get a condominium, a condo for that.
Right. It's wild. I mean, they're coming back down-ish.
And we're about to see a whole lot of people go underwater.
Right.
There's already reports coming out on like CNN and I was just quoting you earlier.
Matt, you missed the
entire thing.
It was 15 minutes long. Yeah. And you did miss a shout out to you as well. So sorry, dude. You can't be showing up half an hour late to the city council meeting expecting it to still be happening. That's crazy. This is
wait, did they go 4
the
6
second
hours?
largest city in New England. It's a fake town. Mo Bergman wants teachers to shovel the streets, I think was essentially what that was about. Did they adopt it was just a report on the school committee seats, right? It was not anything actionable. Yeah.
Correct.
So they adopted that. Everything went by consensus. they just all the 4 things that were on the agenda, they all passed. So good.
No public
good.
comment. Not
Yeah.
even Fred or whatever the hell that guy's name is. Racist grandpa.
Fred Nathan. Yeah.
Fred. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they're all insiders as well, so they get the heads up that don't bother tonight. We're trying to get out of here in under 20.
Do you think they got a holiday party if they're all out together?
All right, I'm at the point right now.
Did you guys talk about the homeless shelter thing?
We talked a little bit on it. Did you go to any of the meetings?
I was at it.
Okay,
I was at the meeting on Sunday.
What can you tell us about how bad people were being?
It was not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
They were just starting to get really loud. Seriously, just tell me. I'll tell them to shut up.
No, it's fine. We can't. They're probably loud. I mean, you can tell them that we told you to tell them to shut up.
Professional show. Our thousands of viewers are really annoyed.
And so they opened it up with the father introducing the stuff. Attell spoke, Petty spoke, the Batista spoke, and then they passed it over to Mady. And the CEO of Open Sky, which Petty called Blue Sky Services instead of Open Sky Services. Kind of amused. And that actually came up a couple times over the course of the rest of the night, people calling it Blue Sky instead of Open Sky. I was very, very confused. But they did a fantastic job explaining what they're going to be doing with the program. It's a 24-hour shelter. It is going to be a wet shelter. So there's no requirement to be sober to go in.
Yeah.
But there's no drugs or alcohol on site. So there was a lot of people who were neighbors that were getting really, really up in arms about the fact that the city wasn't transparent enough. And my favorite comment related to that was Kara Berg-Powers standing up and going, "Look, folks, they've just explained that this has come together in less than a month. I don't know if any of you have worked with government stuff before, but the fact that this isn't transparent with the fact that it's been less than a month, that just shows how fast this got put together."
Yeah.
And one of the other issues that came up actually got solved in the meeting itself was someone asked if there would be showers available for folks. And the Open Sky team was like, "Yeah, we're not sure. We might be able to get a trailer, but we're not sure if this parish council would be okay with that." And like the father just kind of was just like, "Nope, it's fine. We'll do that. That's absolutely fine. Not a problem whatsoever." Like, and that just shows how fast this came together for something government to come together to open up a 60-bed shelter in less than a month and a half.
Yeah.
So like opening its doors on the 19th. It's astounding how fast this came together. And the city manager also stated that this is not the only thing that they are going to be opening. They are looking at additional options for winter shelter for folks. Right now, they estimate us at having approximately 75% with this shelter of the beds needed to house all of our unhoused folks. I think that they're probably underestimating that just to make the statistic look better.
Sure.
But we do have a decent chunk of beds. This is for solo folks only. It is not for families. And there will be complete wraparound services for everyone who goes there if they want to take advantage of the services. They can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. So yeah, did anyone have any questions about it that I might be able to answer?
I mean, my biggest questions were about how vitriolic it possibly got,
Oh.
because Tracy was tweeting about it while it was happening, and it seemed like there was some
Yeah,
ugliness.
Tracy wasn't there, but Kara and her husband Jordan were both there, and I am impressed by Neil McNamara and how his article
Right.
took the best of the meeting.
Yes. Yeah.
There was one point where the head of Open Sky Services literally just started shouting one of the questioners down because she was literally talking about people that were like they were animals, and he called them out on it. It was nasty. There was a lot of people that were pushing it on but you weren't transparent and you didn't contact us, and those of us who are on the side of understanding the situation this is a thing between two private organizations that happens to be state
We don't
funded.
need it. Also, this is the meeting. This is the transparency. You guys are in the room being able to ask questions and air your, issues with it. This is transparency. What else are they supposed to do?
Yeah. And I was sitting at a table with a woman who was the woman who ended up being a homeless person who was heading back to her tent for the night, and said that she looked forward to coming back to being at that event, and somebody in the room shouted out to get a job.
Man.
And she's like, I have a job.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher.
People are Yeah.
So that is where we are at as a city. Our teachers are living in tents and using our shelters.
This is I said it at the beginning of the night.
No,
pretty
there
terrible,
was no vote.
pretty terrible country we got here.
Yeah, there was no vote. It was just
no. That's what he's saying. Like, yeah, what do they want? Like, what are they asking?
Yeah.
That'd be entirely unreasonable. Like, screw.
they wanted to be asked permission for this to exist.
Yeah, fuck that. And fuck them. And you can't bother with people like that. You can't please them. Obviously, you can't argue with them because they're not arguing from a place of good faith. You have to just do what you're going to do and then stop them from stopping you. Well, that's because it's fake. It's fake. They just don't want it to happen. They probably don't even know why they don't want it to happen.
They're far enough away that they weren't getting notice.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was hearing there was like people from not even from out of town that were like, they
were just incensed that you might let unhoused people near a church. I mean, how dare you? What would Jesus do, Brian?
So a couple weeks ago,
what would Jesus do? You mean the fact that the bishop wasn't there, that 11 other churches said no?
Well, yes, of course. Yeah, I mean, it's all fucking bad. But
the fact that it had to be in a religious facility to begin with to be able to open because of state laws is disgusting. Because we're losing our religious institutions. They are losing their buildings. They do not have the spaces that they once did to even potentially do this. And the fact that it's essentially impossible to do a in-person a shelter without it being a religious facility. Batista actually was speaking with folks at the state level and Polito and folks to be like, is there any way we can do this without it being a religious facility? And the state was like, I don't think so. We'll get our lawyers on it. Like that was what he said to us at the meeting, was that was their response. We'll get our lawyers on trying to figure out a way we can get this to happen.
Yeah.
If you can't find a religious building for it.
Well, and this is part of the problem is when you're dealing with the Catholic Church, you are massively rolling the dice on people's safety. and there's for every Blessed Sacrament, for every church that like is doing the work, is doing the community work that they should be doing, that they that the whole religion is about. The majority of them, the vast majority of them, are either are refusing, are actively turning people away, or are doing things like that happened at St. John's. It's like, to rely on this system is not only not great because you have no real oversight, like Mo said, but you're really, really potentially throwing people to the wolves, and it sucks. And it's it's a bad, it's all an awful system. And anytime you try and help anybody, anytime we try and decide as a community that we're going to try and help people, then you're going to get pushback from the ghouls amongst us. And then to the idea that we don't have solutions in place to overcome that in a smarter way, in a better way. People are fucking gross.
The guy that owns Tumoto, which is across the street from the church, it's a hair salon, was there, and he got very up in arms about not being notified, and Attell shut him up by being like, I literally spoke to your store manager on Wednesday. Like, I spoke directly with them, and I have their phone number that I sent them text messages with.
Yeah.
So like some of it was probably manufactured entirely.
It is. It's all fake. It's bullshit.
Get contacted.
Yeah.
But one of the things that he did bring up that was actually a good point was that we shouldn't, as a city, be waiting for people to need an emergency shelter. There should be other options for people. We should be doing more. We should be doing better. And it was actually really interesting hearing that from somebody who was very anti-shelter.
Well, because
across the street from his business.
Yeah, but because I mean, it's like he's accidentally making a good
also
point.
Raised rents by over $400.
That's what I mean. Like if you proposed the solution that he's asking for, he'd be against it too. He'd find a reason to be against it. It's fucking horseshit. It's
Well,
that's why you
a
can't.
Solution. It's easy to say we should be doing more. I mean, that's
Exactly.
That's like thoughts and prayers. Like nobody actually gives a fuck, and that's
no, exactly.
And the real problem with meetings like that is that people like Batista or Joe Petty, any of the counselors, right, are never going to look at the people who are angry and just explain to them how disgusting they are as human beings.
Right.
Embarrass them in front of their families to the point where their children cry, and that's they're bullies, and that's how they should be dealt with.
Sky CEO did.
Good. That's amazing.
He went to town on, and at that point, my husband had to leave the room. He just couldn't take it anymore. The vitriol in the room was absolutely, it was like palpable. One of the other things that happened was the way that the city councilors and city reps and the folks from Castiel and the police were all talking about it as if they had already done something wrong. They were coming at this saying, essentially with their tone and their body language, be very defensive, as if they had done something wrong and they were doing something that they needed to say sorry for. It ended up that mentality ended up bringing Petty to say, okay, well, after the holidays, we'll reconvene and have another meeting to discuss how things are going. Yeah, the police were there. They're going to be stepping up patrols in that area.
Of course, yes.
They're going to be running an additional patrol in that area, and the shelter is hiring private security as well.
My home is also a wet shelter, yet nobody seems to be stepping up patrols around this place.
It's true.
It's also, they've already hired 25 people, should be. A large majority of whom were from Hotel Grace.
Cool. Yeah, it's bad. People are awful to each other. People are awful when they think they can get away with it.
Yenni, have you heard anything about Hotel Grace having any luck in finding a building? I feel like over the summer people have been asking me if I had any
No.
leads on appropriate space, but I haven't
So
really heard
they
much for the fall.
had a space lined up. It was found to be contaminated in some way, and the folks who owned it refused to allow further testing to be done on site.
Yeah.
So they didn't even have a chance to say this is enough for us to abate ourselves.
Mhm.
It was literally just they found something, so they pulled it off the market.
Sure.
Because they know that's much worse.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, they might have just gone with it and done the abatement themselves and fixed it, but they weren't given that
Right.
option. A guy from Hotel Grace was there and brought that up. One of the other folks who were there was from like Catholic Charities.
Mhm.
And they were talking about how the shelters run and all of that, and how they need to be able to drive people to other shelters because they're going to get inundated at this one. And that's when Batista chimed in saying, like, yes, we know that there's not enough beds. This is still not enough beds. We're still looking for additional opportunities and options. And they're still working with the state to see about doing things on public and or private property that's not church. So I'll believe it when I see it, but
Yeah.
that the state's actually trying to help. See,
No, they're not. They're never going to.
especially not where they've got like a month left before they all leave.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Oh, no. It's open 24/7. So people can stay there all the way through the end of March.
Is it first come, first serve then? Or like if you're
is.
once you're out the door, somebody could come in and take your spot? If there's a limited number of beds?
There's no curfew, so I don't know how they would do that in terms of that. But you have to go through processing to get a bed. And so the bed's registered to you. And they expect people to be coming and going.
Cool.
They expect people to leave for work or workaday stuff during the day and come back at night, kind of thing. Quiet hours are 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So it's likely that there will probably be some turnover in beds, but by the end of January, it's probably going to be pretty much just full for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there are other places open. They listed, let's say, 3 other places that were around 60 beds and another couple places that were smaller. And included in that list was Smock, though. So we know sometimes not all of those places are as good of an option as others. And they're also still working on that hotel conversion up in Lincoln Square. So that would be another 90 rooms. Not beds, but 90 rooms.
Right.
So that also can take couples and things like that. This is not set up for couples.
Is there an expectation that if that happens this winter?
I think they're going to be trying to get it to open as a winter shelter this winter and then set it up as the permanent shelter after that, is what it seemed like Batista was getting at, but he said it so quickly that I barely could catch it over the assholes around me muttering and yelling at people. Like it was nasty in there. It was like, I was also surprised because Wayne Griffin was there and he didn't speak. I was confused by that. I was expecting to hear some like vitriol come out of his mouth at Attell specifically, but he actually stayed quiet the whole time. And towards the end of it, it was about 6:30. There was a bunch of people that were like upset that the city councilors weren't the ones talking, that it was the Open Sky folks that were answering the questions. And they're like, but they're not the ones that are accountable for our votes. And Attell just chimes in with like, I'm just organizing this as a meeting. This is between two private organizations. They're the ones with the information. That's why they're answering your questions that you're not asking. Because they
I have no say in
asking
this. I have no control over this. This is solely this place doing whatever the fuck it wants because it's allowed to.
And it's only set up for this year so far in terms of signed paperwork wise. Yep.
Interesting. Well, we'll see what it goes on. Let's reconvene after the holidays and see where we're at with that.
I mean, that's what they're going to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, I hope I would.
Petty has said that they're going to. And then there's a neighborhood watch meeting tomorrow night that is going to happen in the rectory instead of the main building where we usually are. So if anyone lives in the area and wants to come help me not pull my hair out with all of the people being angry about this, I would welcome friendly faces.
Head on down, everybody. Yenni, thank you so much for, even though you missed the meeting and you will be getting demerits for that. It's going on your permanent record, but we do appreciate you reporting for us, as Mo said. And I think we should be getting. I think it's easier to go to something when you oppose it, obviously, but look at all the people that go out when they oppose it.
Positive voices in the room too, which was
so
nice.
that's so let's I think we could all be better. I know I could about jumping in on that stuff when I'm for something as well. So thank you so much for doing that.
It's just a great opportunity to mock people too. I mean, it's easy for a bunch of angry old folk to show up and punch down, but I mean, got some really talented voices here that would be nice to show up at meetings and do a little punching up in public. It would be actually fantastic.
Could really use you at the neighborhood square. Anyone in the area?
Mr. Manager, give us more beds. We want more beds, or we will destroy Kate Toomey's Etsy page.
So something like that can happen.
Yeah.
The other thing that came up while I was there was that I noticed a bunch of the people who were doing a lot of the speaking against the shelter were not neighbors, were not people who ever came to neighborhood watch meetings.
Right.
We're all upset that they didn't get any notice, that the neighborhood watch didn't get notice. And I'm just like, you're not even on the email list. You're like, I chimed in. I said something at one point, like to some people that were sitting in front of me, that were bitching about it, and they were like, well, you didn't tell the neighborhood watch. And I'm like, you don't come to the meetings, you don't get to speak for the neighborhood watch.
Booyah. Got him. Yeah, it's good times, bad times, who the fuck knows. Thank you again. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Again, short one. What are you gonna do? We didn't even have time for Bill to show up in his cool suit and on mushrooms. So we'll have him back next week. Hopefully, I think he's back next week.
Are we next week? Or is it?
Are we off next week?
Because I think school vacations starts next week. Or
I don't have the
I
calendar.
know they won't have one on the 27th. But I don't
definitely
know
not.
on the 20th.
We'll post about it. It's fine. We'll figure it out later. I hope if we don't see everybody, I hope everybody's having and will have great holidays. And we will be back in 2023 to,
there is a meeting next week.
There is a meeting. Okay, good. Then we can chat about all this stuff and make plans for how we're going to destroy this city during next year's election. So very, very happy everyone joined us tonight. Thank you guys for chiming in, for sticking around as well. As always, We really love having you guys here. We love chatting with everybody. So thank you. Follow us at WCT3000 on Instagram. To keep updated on all of our fucking bullshit. And make sure you follow and are subscribed to Bill Shaner Substack. This guy, you know, it's not all money bags out there on the road. And when you're playing for these bands, you know, it's Ticketmaster's destroying live music. So make sure you're paying Bill Shaner to write, and also paying him to have guest writers come on, like Kara Berg Powers, and hopefully
There's still
others
time
coming.
to write to DSEE.
Yes, absolutely. Please let them know that we do not want a charter school, especially one from the mid to late 1700s. They just didn't have the technology. Screens these days are crazy, and they can't provide that. So we need you to step it up, everybody, and get rid of these sons of bitches. Also, as always, shop at etsy.com/shop/Kate Toomey Designs. I think tomorrow is the last day to get orders in before Christmas. So you really, you know, if you want a pillow with some dumb bullshit on it, then you got to get it in now. 508, a show about Worcester, is never coming back. I'm sorry. It's gone. Maybe the hackers will try and blackmail Brendan to bring it back. My show, Parts Unknown, wherever you can find podcasts. If you like wrestling, if you don't like wrestling, I don't know. We haven't recorded in a couple weeks. It's fine. And you know what? Let's throw this old chestnut out there. Throw Shaun Courtney just a few bucks, just for fun. You know, I think it'd be funny if I got a text from him tonight asking why he got a bunch of money on Venmo. So throw him a bunch of money. Venmo whatever feels uncomfortable, an uncomfortable amount to send to Shaun Courtney. Venmo that to him right now, and then just write a weird inscrutable note about it. So guys, we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining in.
We love you very much, and
we hope you have a wonderful week. So good night, everybody. Bye.
Bye.